Join YouTube and then we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go ahead.
Okay. The April 27th, 2021 meeting of the Richmond Sanitary District Board of Commissioners is called to order. The first item of business is approval of minutes from the April 13th, 2021 meeting.
President Miller,
Yes, Mr. Boxey?
motion to approve minutes from April 13th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the April 13th, 2021 meeting. Any other questions or comments? If none, Jess, will you call the roll?
Hamon,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Next item of business is approval of invoices from check date April 2nd, 9th, and 16th of 2021. Do I have a motion on those?
I'd like to make a motion to approve invoices for check date run April 2nd, 9th, and 16th, 2021, totaling $204,211.10. We had a few significant invoices, 2 from Harvest Lane Co-op for $13,754.73 and $14,464.09. Also 2 from Brackney Construction. The first one, $10,294.24 and $39,080.07. All other invoices totaled $100,617.97.
I second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve invoices from check date April 2nd, 9th, and 16th of 2021, totaling $204,211.10. Any further questions or comments? If not, Jess, will you call the roll?
Hamon,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item of business is the director's report.
Yes, Madam President and Board, I got a couple of things. First, I just want to say that, as you know, we were awarded the grant to start a curbside cardboard recycling program. We are right now starting to roll out some of the public education portion of that, and yesterday on Facebook. Hopefully today, by the end of the day, it'll be on our website, and there's a flyer going into our mailing inserts that kind of go over a little bit of a loose explanation of the cardboard, but more importantly, there's a link there that'll take you to a survey on SurveyMonkey that has some questions that we would like anyone interested in the program to sign on and take. It takes, I think, approximately 2.5 minutes to do the whole survey, so it's not long. But this data will really help us garner interest and plan our routes and just build data for the overall program. So we really do ask anyone interested to take that. The second thing I have is I have the monthly report. Now, normally, and I kind of said this in the last couple of meetings, what you have in the packet now is January, February, and March. I didn't do one early in the year as financials weren't up and running in the year. You know, we were still inputting a lot of data, so it didn't really make sense to pull one out. Plus was doing the year-end report that helped me build some more context into the report with the data that we have been collecting. I won't go over each month individually unless there are questions, but I'll just kind of hit some highlights that I've seen in the overall. But from the treatment plant standpoint, you know, we're heavily under construction right now, but we've done really well. We've maintained no violations throughout the whole process. And really, as we're starting to put more and more of the new structures and technology online, we're really starting to see a lot of treatment efficiencies go up, even what they were pre-construction. So I think this, you know, I think we're really excited that we're going to see what we hope we'd see when it's all done. You know, lower chemical usage, lower power usage, increased efficiencies, a lot more control. We've been able to handle heavier flows and stuff a lot better. I mean, we're doing as much flow right now as we would have pre-construction, and the whole secondary part of the plant is only at 75% capacity. So to still be able to do just as much as we were able to do before at 100% is a very promising data. So another big piece is in the maintenance section. You'll see that with everybody back, we've kind of tentatively moved back into full staff. We've had a lot of employees be vaccinated, and warm weather and different jobs have allowed us to still maintain the social distancing. But you'll see a large increase in what we were able to do on the maintenance side. A good one, for example, is in the sewer maintenance. They were able to, one of the things we marked out was feet inspected of our line, which is held to our long-term control plan. And they were able to make up a lot of lost ground in the last couple of months. And if we can keep that up, we will, by the end of this year, we should be able to make up all the ground we lost last year during COVID. So that was very promising. I did try to pull in together another piece. Was looking at solid waste overall. I know that was kind of last year, it seemed like monthly you kind of ranged plus or minus 20% of the average. So I kind of went through that. And I was trying to see if we could find seasonal variations and things. It does look like special pickup and things like that reduced during the winter. At least that's what we've seen here. And looking back last year, it kind of indicates that. But the data does all seem to go along there. I'd say from a landfill standpoint and solid waste, we're on par every month so far for this quarter. So. And as far as financials go, everything looks about like what we'd expect. There's a couple minor things where you move things that probably happens at the first of the year always, but I didn't see anything alarming. Everything looks to be about where we would expect to be. And that's all I have unless there are questions about either the cardboard or the monthly reports.
Cardboard, is your intention to target primarily residential or businesses as well? And aren't many of the larger businesses doing their own recycling or with their cardboard?
Correct.
Like Walmart or something, I would say Kroger, Walmart, those type.
Yeah, correct. That's what we've seen some, definitely in the past, is a lot of the larger users that already moved to their own source of getting rid of their cardboard. But yeah, we're going to concentrate on this first wave. Again, it's starting out with 2,000 containers, and it will start with just residential. As we go along, we hope to build more data, and if there is a way to do it commercially, we would definitely entertain that. Some obstacles commercially that pop up are if we give a roll-off or something of that nature, the way cardboard is and why we're getting a whole special truck is it can't be blended with other material. And if we set an open container, we get a lot of sometimes people in the public not realizing it's cardboard, but dumping other trash and things in there. So it kind of has to come with a policing aspect of it if it goes commercially. So it's something we have to think about and kind of get wrapped around before we try to approach that aspect.
And when you say cardboard, do you mean like my cereal box and my, corrugated cardboard, or?
We're really focusing on corrugated cardboard.
Okay.
That's really what we're going to tackle. And if you go to the survey and the flyer, it indicates that. It'll indicate the size that it needs to be broken down into. The program will come with its own new bin. It'll probably be like a tan colored bin that's specifically just for the cardboard. We ask that it be clean, so if it's no food stuck to it or anything else like that, don't put it in there if it still has like the styrofoam packing or plastic. Take all that out. Just corrugated cardboard at this point.
And one other question I had in noticing, you mentioned that the sewer maintenance getting back up to full staff. On those metrics like cleaning inlets, sewer cleaning, televised lines, do you have certain targets you're shooting for in those, or are those like on-call as need basis?
Some of it is, so the inspection part at the bottom is a PM thing. PM scheduled runs, which you'll see up there, is also that. But there is some of the cleaning. and line televised and root sol. Some of that is going to be if there's an emergency, if something's backed up or whatever. But it also, that data correlates to if I've inspected it and found something, I would also clean it. So like root sol footage and line televised is a mixture of both what we find during an inspection and what pops up from like an emergency call.
But we don't, I guess, have some system in place or pattern where you're trying to rotate through the whole system of televising it over any given period of time or anything of that sort.
There is a timeline long-term control plan of cleaning and inspecting the system, and that's where this inspection comes through. We rotate around trying to get through the whole system. We do have marked off, the sewer crew does, and maybe even Elijah and them do as well, but trouble spots that seem to more frequently have backups and stuff like that. So we visit them more frequently for inspections, trying to keep that down and you know, if we need to make changes or whatever it comes around to, but yeah.
Okay. And the news on the wastewater treatment plant sounds really encouraging. When do we anticipate completion of that project?
Around October.
This year, okay.
Yeah, substantial completion should be around October.
Okay, and I know in the past, Elijah's always, we've teased him about always looking for large rain amounts. And you mentioned that, have we had those significant rain amounts during this construction?
We've had a few earlier on, I don't say earlier on, but near the end of last year, we had a few that were good size and allowed us to measure that. It sounds like we might get a good one Wednesday night. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, we have that critical piece I mentioned at the last board meeting where we have, we're doing a lot of really large pipe tie-ins for a structure, and we kind of have to keep the plant running, but kind of isolate a middle section. So we're kind of using empty tanks to absorb flows and things like that. So we need them empty. So the rain it may push or pull that piece of the construction a little bit on time-wise, but once we get that done, I don't want to say let it rain away, but I'm always cautious to say that, but we should be in a lot better position at that point with it not affecting much of the construction and really being able to measure efficiencies then. So,
Okay.
but I'll say that the data looks very promising. The control that we've been able to have from an ease of operation is significant. Yeah, very excited to see it when it's completed. So.
And you mentioned that the efficiency with the decreased chemicals, I assume potentially as well a reduction of utilities. That's one of our major costs out there.
It is. I think, you know, our blower for the aeration system accounts for maybe 75% of that large electric bill at the district. And I think we're estimating that may go down like 40% or something like that of the blower's portion of that after it's put in. So we're very excited about that. And we have seen the new aeration, we have a few tanks online right now with that, and they are much more efficient. The fine bubble diffusers are. And we've already seen, you know, we went from using approximately 600 gallons a day of alum in 2016 or so down to around the average of 100. But since February, when we switched over to the new tanks, we're down to only using about 30 gallons of alum a day. So we're hoping that honestly, once this is done and all the tanks are running that way, we can really dive back into that system and even get it down further than that. So we're very excited about that. And the lower the solids are, and the better ammonia treatment is, the chlorine and sulfur dioxide should go down as well. So, you know, we may save a few $10,000 of chemicals at the end of this. So.
Well, and solids disposal has always been very expensive for us as well.
Yes, and that unfortunately solids disposal probably won't go down. You know, we had the problem from 2000 to 2017 where the incoming solids nearly tripled. Last 3 years or 2 years, it's sort of plateaued a little bit. You know, we have theories on why that might be, but we're hopeful we kind of have plateaued. But the rotary drum thickener that we put in still we could double the solids from now, and it's still a large enough piece of equipment, and we sized it properly that it would still be able to handle what we have. Now, the amount that we have to haul out the fields would go up accordingly to that. But I would only expect it to be maybe 20% increase if we completely doubled solids incoming with the new thickening equipment. So I still think we're in a good place. There's still some long-term discussion on solids overall, and a digester project we know is in the works in a few years. But we're in a good spot. Yes, this will really help our efficiency.
Yep. Well, thank you very much. Any other questions of Pat? If not, I will go to the next item of business, which is the recommendation to approve, receive bids. Almost missed that one. We have the bids for the cardboard recycling truck.
Looks like we have maybe 5 bids here. The first bid is from Pyramid Equipment, Bowling Prairie, Indiana. For a cardboard recycling truck, their price is $257,950, and the bid is firm for 45 days. And there is a bid bond. Second bid is from Municipal Equipment Incorporated, Louisville, Kentucky. Their bid is for $247,490. There is a bid bond, and their bid is firm for 30 days. It included a second bid, same company, Municipal Equipment of Louisville, Kentucky. Would you like me to describe what the truck is, or should I just read the bid and have them come back with a recommendation?
I think that's up to AJ. Excuse me.
Okay. I guess well, I'll go ahead and read this one, and then I'll need to clarify the other two that I just opened then. Okay. This is for a Freightliner M2106. Fully automated body. It's a GS Products Collect Star. Again, the price is for $243,525, and this bid is good for 30 days. We submitted a third bid, Municipal Equipment, Louisville, Kentucky. This is for a Freightliner M2106 G-S Products Collect Star. Unit price Is this the same thing? $247,538.42. There is a bid bond. I'm gonna go ahead and read the previous bid from them. The first one. Again, municipal equipment, Louisville, Kentucky. This bid was for a Freightliner M2-106. Fully automated body is a curb tender power pack. Their price again was $247,490, and this bid was firm for 30 days. And there was also a bid bond included. This bid is from Best Equipment Company Incorporated, Indianapolis, Indiana. They do have a bid bond. Well, I'm sorry, this was taking me a while to find. There we go. This is for a Freightliner M2. The fully automated body is a Libri, Labrie, Automizer right hand. The unit price is $303,832, and their bid is firm for 60 days. They also have, here's an alternate bid. So I will read it also. I think the bid sheets need to be blue or something.
Can we put them in a different color?
Yeah. Put it on top. Yeah, put it on top. All Sorry, I'm not finding this one very quickly. Here we go. Okay, there's alternate proposal. This is for a Freightliner M2. The full body the fully automated body is a Libra Automizer helping hand. And their price for this vehicle is $291,271. And this bid is also firm for 60 days.
Is that all of them?
I'm going to go back and read the very first bid so I can describe the vehicle.
That was my alternate. That was a truck we got being built in stock. That was, which is my alternate. To meet your spec is the other bid that you did.
Okay. Again, this was from Pyramid Equipment. And this was for a 2021 Freightliner M2 106. The fully automated body is a New Way ASL 31. The unit price again is $257,950. And this bid was firm for 45 days. And then there was also an alternate bid in here. This again was for a 2022 Freightliner M2 106. The fully automated body is a New Way ASL 33. The unit price is $272,215. And this bid is firm for 45 days. And that's all.
So, well, I guess I should have asked this at the beginning, but what specifically are we looking for here? Will it be an automated pickup and a compactor as well, like our current trucks?
It will be automated, yes. It's kind of similar to the recycling truck, a little different since it's just for cardboard. Our current recycling truck has like 2 spaces within it, so you can kind of pick up 2 different types of material. But since this is strictly cardboard, it's a little different.
Okay. So as part of the process is that we will have to buy certain containers that would fit the specific truck that we buy. Is that correct?
Yeah, they'll be the same size containers. Those are 96 gallon, like the Rosies. Same size that they'll probably be tan. We're still working through that, yeah. And we'll get 2,000 containers in this first wave.
Okay. Will the containers be part of the grant, or are those going to be about, can we only use the grant money for the trucks?
The grant covered also the 2,000 containers.
Okay, great. Any other questions? If not, we'll refer those to management for a recommendation at a later meeting. And I have to jump back here to my agenda. And the next item of business then is the non-union, the annual stipends for non-union employees.
Yes, Madam President, board members, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For the past several years, the district non-union employees have received stipends for steel-toed boots, shoes, winter apparel, licensing, and certifications. These stipends are reflective of the similar stipends paid to the union employees. Tabulation of stipends is attached. The winter apparel is paid every year, and the other stipends are paid annually, every other year. The last agreement for the stipends was for 2018, 2019, and 2020. I'm asking the board to agree to continue paying these stipends for 2021, 2022, and 2023. There's a list of the stipends and totals which the total is $9,675. And I'm just asking the board to continue paying the non-union employees these stipends.
Thanks. I have a question. If we usually go concurrent with the ASME contract, do we have the contract for 21, 22, and 23 currently?
No, not for 22 and 23.
Okay.
But the reason we asked for the 3 years ago, we had 3 year prior to this.
I see. I guess my only thought would be, if we're trying to replicate what the union employees are doing, should we wait until the union contract's approved to then mirror that for our non-union people?
Or could we approve to just mirror the contract of the union and continue to the the next 3 years, 21, 22, and 23?
AJ, do you have any thoughts on which way would be best for that?
Yeah, I understand what Jeff is saying, but that leaves a degree of uncertainty as to what will occur in future union negotiations. And so you would essentially be approving a question mark for 22 and 23. And that causes me some concern, but I understand Jeff trying to be efficient in that regard. So if you're going to modify this, my suggestion would be to modify to only include that year, which we already have a union contract to mirror it. If that is the board's position, that we really do want to mirror these union contracts year after year.
And then
AJ,
possibly, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, AJ, is there any way we could go with the 2021 with the option to revisit this 22 and 23 if it would change, if the contract would change?
Yeah, I suppose you could style your motion according to approval for 2021, with 2022 and 2023 being contingent upon the union's contract in that regard. But again, that may create some discord among your non-union employees if you tentatively approve these stipends for 2022 and 23 and then decide a year later you have to decrease the stipends or do away with them altogether. So I just point that out as a possibility, although probably not unlikely.
Yeah, I guess I would have, and I don't know what we've done in the past, because it seems like one year we went without a contract and it wasn't improved until sort of basically retroactively in the next year. I don't remember which year that was. My other thought was, basically was work towards just getting it on the same agenda as day as when we approved the ASME contract, to go ahead and approve, consider the non-union stipends essentially at that same meeting. So just sort of keep it in our memory banks that when the ASME comes forward, that the non-union would be considered then at the same meeting.
Okay, I don't have the union contract in front of me, but I think it is good to through 2022.
Oh, the current one?
The current one.
Okay. I pulled it out last week when this came up, and I think you're right. It seemed like we were sort of ahead finally, not behind. Potentially, should we, because we don't have that at our fingertips right now, should the motion state, just reference the ASME contract and approve the stipends for the years under the current contract?
I believe you can do that.
That'd be fine with me. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know if AJ, Amon, Greg, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think if we just say it'll be under the current contract, I think that would be fine.
Okay. And I would like to note that I think as Jeff may have pointed out, I believe this covers 14 of our employees, and a separate Excel spreadsheet that we received showed the length of service of these 14 employees, and the average is almost 18 years. So our recognition here is certainly of some very long-term employees as well, even though that's not the intention of it by any means. But and I think it also serves to show the support our employees have to stay with us. Any other questions or comments, or I'll entertain a motion?
President Miller,
Yes, Mr. Bakshi.
motion for recommendation to approve the annual stipends for non-union employees. This would be for the year 2021, with the option to renew for 2022 and 2023, contingent to the outcome of the ASME contract.
Can everybody live with that language?
Okay, I will second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the non-union stipends for the stipends for non-union employees for the years 2021 and 2022 and 2023, contingent upon the AFSCME contracts. Does that work? Any further questions or comments? If not, Jess, will you call the roll?
Amon,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. The next item of business is the change order number 1 for the landfill gas collection and control project.
Yes, Madam President and Board, we have completed our landfill gas collection project out of the landfill, installed 4 new wells, and this change order handles just a few things that came up during construction, and then handles just adjusting the final quantities or 4 final quantities based on the actual length of pipe and things like that that were installed. So the total net change for this change order is an increase of $4,911.31, taking the total contract price to $126,381.31. This is change order number 1, and it will be the final change order for this project. It's my recommendation to approve it.
Thank you. Any questions of Elijah, or I will entertain a motion?
President Miller?
Yes, Mr. Steve?
Make a motion to approve change order number 1. This is the final change order for the New Paris Pike Landfill 2020 gas collection and control system improvement project. The contractor is Continuum Environmental Services LTD. The total amount of the change order is $4,911.31 for a final contract price of $126,381.31.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second to approve change order number 1, the final change order for the New Paris Pike Landfill 2020 gas collection and control system improvement project with Continuum Environmental Services Limited. It's for a net increase of $4,911.31 for a final contract price of $126,381.31. Any further questions or comments? If not, Jess, will you call the roll?
Amon,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Motion carries. The next item is miscellaneous. Does anyone have any other business to be brought before the board today? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second to adjourn. Jess, will you call the roll?
Amon,
Aye.
Greg,
aye.
Sue,
Aye,
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.